Ever heard something that made you spill your tea, roll your eyes, or plain laugh out loud? Welcome to Say What Now TV, your place for daily content on tongue-slipping, mind-bending social issues and trending topics around the world. Be amazed, get annoyed, be entertained.
Hi, welcome to another live with Say What Now TV. So we're live every Sunday at 6 p.m. Thanks for joining. So today we're going to discuss the whole matter of the national heroes. So the declaration of Rihanna as a national hero in Barbados spurred a lot of discussion on social media here in Jamaica, where persons are concerned as to whether or not we ourselves will add to our national heroes list. So as you know, we have 7 national heroes, and the debate is whether or not you have to be dead to be declared a national hero, or can you be alive? Or do we even need more national heroes? So we're going to take the discussion there today. And here with me, we have Sasha Gay, our resident co-host. So we're just going to go right into it. Welcome, Sasha Gay.
Hello, thanks for having me, Anna.
Okay, great. So Sasha Gay, in your opinion, what do you think? Give a quick introduction without leaking too much at the beginning of the live. What do you think the whole matter is concerning national heroes here in Jamaica? Why now?
Well, I think, Jamaica is actually, if I can say this, a fashion kind of country, So everything that we see somebody else has or someone else is doing, we want to get on board. As it relates to a national hero being dead or alive, I don't think it really matters. I think once a person is selfless, has done something sacrificial for the betterment of their country, and then I think they should be rewarded the title of being a national hero. So
okay,
that's it for now. Yeah.
Okay, great. So you're basically saying this attention about national heroes really started because of the Rihanna situation in Barbados.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, there are some views on social media that the topic was raised years ago during the PJ Patterson administration to have persons be declared as national heroes. But I guess it wasn't, there was no footing at that time. So I guess seeing our Caribbean neighbors do this, persons are now saying it's something we should embark on. Do you agree?
Well, I don't think it is something of, maximum importance right now. So I wouldn't, really focus on finding a new hero or even thinking about national heroes right now. So I think that Jamaica has other things to worry about than, finding a new hero to add to our list.
So you don't think having another national hero, 1 or 2 or 3 more, would actually build the morale of the citizens of the country?
Well, I've seen something the other day and they were asking if Bob Marley or Usain Bolt could be our next hero. And I was wondering, what have they done that is selfless? I know that Bob Marley has placed reggae music on the charts, around the world. He actually influenced tourism in Jamaica. So he's a good shot at being the next hero if there will be. But Bolt, I really don't know. I don't want to say too much for the Bolt fans to attack me. So let's leave it right there.
Okay, I hear you. Okay, but in my opinion, I think it's something we can explore because the 7, we've gone several generations now, and some persons are not even aware of the 7 that we have. So of your memory, do you know the 7? I can name a few.
Yes, I do.
Okay, go ahead and, for the benefit of the viewers, go ahead and tell us, who are the 7 national heroes for Jamaica?
All right, you have Sam Sharp, Right Excellency. Sam Sharp, Right Excellency. None of the Maroons, Right Excellency Paul Bogle, George William Garden. You have Marcus Garvey, Alexander Bustamante, and Norman Manley. Norman Manley. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not
living. I know, the one female, Nanny.
Yeah, Nanny the
What about that? Mostly males. You think it's time for another woman?
Yes, I think there should be, but who would that be?
Good
You know,
question.
who
But
would
we
that
can
be?
take it there. There are several options, I guess, locally. But in terms of the criteria for a national hero, what do
Mhm.
you think warrants that? It can't just be anything, any random thing.
Exactly. So when I look on our heroes that we have already, they're all dead. Um, and they have done something sacrificial. They have fought for freedom, from in like back in slavery days. They try to empower black people, such as Marcus Garvey. There's kind of
Right.
things that they have done so that the generations to come would feel empowered, would feel more confident. So I think those are the things that I have observed based on our hero that we have now. So that would be
Okay,
a
fair
criteria.
enough. Right, I understand. I did some thinking for myself because it can't be any random act that allows you to be declared a national hero. So
Exactly.
I came up with two criteria of my own, and you can tell me your views on them. Let me just show the first one. So let me say it first. So the first one is that the individual has to have had some global impact that's bringing positive
Mm.
attention to the country over an extended period of time. So it can be like a balance of honor, that thing that the prime minister will give citizens of the country who do any hero, they do a little, you rescue somebody, save someone's life, etc., and you get an award. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's something more than that, where it's a global impact and it's not just a one-time impact. It's something that's sustained over a long period of time and it doesn't leave our attention. And I think in a case like that, you putting Jamaica on the map at that level warrants you being declared some, level of heroism or so. I don't know. And the
Yeah, but
second
it
one, let me
depends.
show that one on the screen, but let me hear your views on that one.
Okay, are you wanted to finish the other one and then we'll just talk about it in whole?
Talk about them both. All
Yeah.
right. So the second one I had is that it should be an act or sacrifice that has influenced the economy or the social well-being of the citizens.
Mm-hmm.
So, it's a personal act or sacrifice. Maybe you lose your life, unfortunately, you maybe lose your life in the
Yeah.
situation, but that act itself brought Jamaica some economic growth or protected the well-being of the citizens or put us on this world stage in a way that without that act, nothing else could have given us that kind of attention. And I think once somebody has done something of that nature, it is
Mm-hmm.
fair for them to be considered a national hero.
Well, that's fair. That's fair. And the national hero that we do have, somewhat fitting those criterias.
Right. But what about the thing of being dead or alive? Do you have to be dead to be a
No,
national hero?
no, no, I don't think you have to be dead. And I think, how we have like Miss World, how they
Mhm.
how when they reign, they reign over a year and they continue to do work within their country, around the world, in their communities. I think a national hero now that is alive would do something like that. Like a mass community service,
That's a good
something.
point. Yeah.
Yeah, so something like so being alive actually has more benefit of a hero than being dead.
Excellent point, Sasha Gay. Excellent point. So they can continue to serve and influence.
Yes,
Yeah,
because
that's a
when
great
you
point.
because like when I was younger, in primary school, prep school, whatever, uh, you learn about them in socials classes. You do a project about them, and then what? When I entered high school, I
Yeah,
I I don't even think about them.
that's true.
You
It's
know,
like
yeah,
their relevance is not integrated in how
yeah,
we think, how in terms of academia. It's entrenched in academia, by the way. So young children are taught about the national heroes, but
yeah.
in terms of integrating it into just mainstream society, that is not done. So over
Exactly.
time, the memory is lost. The memory and the relevance is lost over
And
time.
I think it's a level of importance. Like when you're at school, you just did it for the project because you want to pass. You want to have a good grade. You want your scrapbook to look beautiful with George William Gordon and Marcus Garvey. But then you get your A. you move on, and in high school you don't even learn about them really.
Yes, yes, yes.
And then you
That's
grow
true.
into college, you turn a professional, going into your path, you don't remember them, based on what you're doing. You don't have to draw for them and then information from them. So it's basically just a one-time wonder thing, learning about the heroes of Jamaica.
Right. Do you think though that if we had opened the door for adding more national heroes to the list, that persons would aspire to do something, gallant that warrants that title?
I think they would. And when you look on it, I don't know what it's called, but when somebody sees somebody getting a reward, they want a reward as well. So
Mm-hmm.
they're going to go all out. They're going to, give out this selfless act just because they want to be rewarded, being a national hero, being the right excellency. So if that's the case, having a hero alive, that would influence, other people to do more stuff.
That's a good thing, yes. But at the same time, we don't want persons to go and kill themselves to be declared a national hero,
Oh yeah, but you don't have to kill yourself. Being
in the name
sacrificial
of
doesn't always
attention.
have to end
It's
in
so
death.
extreme. Yes, I hear
Doesn't
you.
always have to end in death. And it's not 1903 anymore. It's
Mm-hmm.
2021. It doesn't always have to end in death. Being a hero can be, you in a time like this, in the middle of a pandemic. Now is the time that you could be a hero.
Exactly, because what is this? Where's the rule book coming from? Because the national heroes we have are beyond anybody's lifetime in the country now. So
Exactly.
what is this rule that says we have to be static with the seven? What is that rule?
I don't know. It's just stagnant. Our culture has been planted, is rooted and grounded then, right? And they're not even watering it. So I don't think they will focus on these heroes at all. They just bury them at the National Hero Circle if they're even there. And then
Mm-hmm.
what next? Every year we have in October, we celebrate their bravery. Yeah, and what next? When October finish, and most times during that time in October when that's their month, people party, people don't recognize the importance of these heroes.
Right. And even the argument, the debate about even just giving persons statue, like the whole Usain Bolt situation. Once somebody's alive, in terms of memorabilia, it's that we hold back on, recognizing the work or the initiative done by that person. Once you're alive, it's like you need to die first. Just like when you're at a funeral, they say all the good things about you, but when you're
Yeah,
alive, you're not given that kind of praise and recognition.
always, always. And they have a thing of giving you roses when you're gone. You can't smell
Yes,
them, you can't touch them. It's just, they always like to say, "Oh, he was this, he was that, she was this, she was brave, she was that." But what about her being alive? Praise her then, or praise him then. But the thing
yes.
about Bolt is, just in my opinion, he should be on the list of national hero. Maybe if he was in Barbados, he would have gotten, you know, he would have
Yes,
gotten it. He
so
would have
you're
gotten it.
saying,
Yeah, he
yes,
would have gotten it.
you're
I
saying they're a
don't.
little more relaxed in their ruling as to
Yeah,
who
I
gets
think
this
they're more
crown.
relaxed. In their criteria of choosing a national hero, because in Jamaica, I don't think Spice would have been a national hero.
Right.
I,
No,
I
but I
I
don't
don't
think
think
it's
so.
fair. You're comparing Rihanna with Spice. But
Yeah, but
either way,
no,
though, if you want to
Spice
make
is
it a
the queen of
mark,
dancehall.
recognition is
Our
good.
culture is, you know, as a female in Jamaica, Spice has put, she really has, put Jamaica on that platform when it comes down to dancehall music. People around the world, are going to her shows, appreciating Jamaica. Same thing with Rihanna. She's an R&B star, and they
And
go to her shows
Cynthia
and
is doing the same thing. So, if you look at present day, there are a lot of people now that are actually putting Jamaica on the map. So it's like it's saturated. It's not like back in the day where a hero thing was a rare thing. No, the average Jamaican is almost a hero. Look at all the things that we're doing. Look at sports. So all these runners, we have all, the fastest man and the fastest woman in Jamaica, right? More than one. We have more than one of each. And then we have, all these persons that, as you said, music artists that are making their mark out there in the space. So it's not like before where things are scarce. Everybody is a hero today. So if we don't get on board with, appointing national people live,
in what terms, they only have a global impact, which is what they partake in. That's their profession, right? And that's what I don't agree with. A hero cannot be somebody who is doing their job. They're getting paid to do what they do. Understand? Because if I'm an athlete, I'm going to try to run and come first because I want that first prize money. And that's not being a hero. It's just doing my job.
I get you. So you don't agree then that Rihanna should have been declared a national hero based on what you just said?
I don't know the full story of what Rihanna has done for Barbados.
Well, look at it like this. Persons are saying that if you're doing something and you're making a lot of money and it's really for your personal, growth and whatever, that should not count as something
but
that
I read something. I think it was in the Guardian, and it was saying that basically she got, the right excellency because she stood ground with her Bajan roots.
Right.
So anywhere around the world as she went, she stood ground, and she's an advocate for the citizens of Barbados around the world, keeping it rich in the Caribbean heritage, like they were talking about that. So it wasn't really anything about her music, really. It was just about her character and her being a Bajan and being so.
Oh, you mean in terms of how they explained it? In terms of the reason they gave?
How they explained it, yes. So basically, how they explained it, they were saying that she's an advocate for all, Bajans. The young people in the country look up to her. I think she has this foundation in Barbados as well. So I'm not really sure. I have to do some more reading for that. But yeah, so it wasn't really about her being an artist and being a celebrity that got her that award, really.
Yeah, but at the same time, even if she's making all this money for herself, Barbados gets that kind of attention that the average person would not bring to their country. So you, an island girl, makes it in the music industry in America, becomes a billionaire, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm not sure they've tied that with her contributions in terms of what she gives back to her country, but just that action alone is global recognition that, no matter how we look at it, to say, okay, the money is for herself, so why do we count that? But it's still an impactful thing that the average person has not done.
Well, yeah, that's true. Comparing to all the other Bajans.
Right. Yeah. And the same here for Jamaica. But, we took it to the streets. So I'm going to play some of the viewpoints from persons that we engaged earlier. Let me just start with one now. Let me just put one up right now to just tell you what their views are in terms of who they believe in Jamaica should be declared as a national hero.
All right.
Okay.
Who found reggae music and put it to the highest point where we know, say, we the younger heads can take off. You see me I say, and make life up. You see me I say, so watch it now. Just give Bob Marley the preference. See? And him will say, right? I'm a vote for him. I'm a whole tell anything that Bob Marley. See? Highly blessed. Straight.
Straight.
Right.
I know that was a Rasta who said that.
Yes. Am I echoing or not echoing?
No.
Right.
But,
so it's a Rasta who said that. You think he's been biased?
Yeah, I'm just saying. Maybe he is, because he's a Rasta. He'd be like, yeah, man, Bob Marley, the only one.
No, there were other. You see, let me tell you something. Bob Marley was the most common one in terms of people just looking at their own situation and say, okay, what could be the criteria for a national hero? And Bob Marley came up as the most popular one. Here's another.
Blessed love my people. Now just to share with all, one and all. See me? Bob Marley deserves it to get the national hero because it's a foundation brother. And he set it for all of the people there. One love insane. Don't forget that. And one love should stand. You see it? And I know them now are going to be alive, man. The national hero. You see me? So me I say, I'm going to do it for Bob Marley. Can deserve it. And I one love me say. And a Samoja representing to the world. Don't forget. One love me people.
One love.
So he said there's another biased gentleman there with the Bob Marley.
Two Rastas say Bob Marley. But it actually makes sense. If I had to choose, I would also choose Bob Marley.
Yes, and I think we have more than one option. I think we have more than one option for something like this as a country.
Like who? You know?
Yeah, but is it a bad mind thing though? You know?
I think
it's a bad mind thing that we're bringing this up now.
I think it is, because if it was such a something of maximum importance as it's being shown now, it would have done a long time ago.
Well, it did, as I told you earlier, it did come up, They come up, but it went nowhere. I guess now that we've seen it materialize somewhere else, it is back on the table.
It's back on the table because they want to compete.
Oh, so that compete. So what are you saying? Jamaica love color? Jamaica a trendsetter. Are we trendsetters in many areas?
We are. I don't know why we're trying to, do ourselves like this now.
No, I don't view it like that. I don't view it like that. If a small island like Barbados can recognize Rihanna, look at what we have in our arsenal. Where is recognition for our people? What do you think?
And then if you're trying, and then Jamaica have a thing as well, you give one person it, other persons in the same, criteria are going to be like, oh, I do this more and I do that and I should have gotten it, and it's just a lot of conflict that's going to surround that. And I've seen that in even the simplest things. Even the simplest things, like they're trying to compete among themselves. And it's not a good thing.
All right. Well, all right, let's hear some more from the streets now. Let's hear another one. I don't personally believe that it is something that we're overdoing ourselves with. I think, it's something we should consider. Yes, it took Barbados doing it for us to bring back attention on it, but the 7 alone, think about it, for millennia to come, will we never ever have a national hero, another? 1 or more, or 5 or 10?
Well, this is Blessed P, from outer Kingston, Jamaica, so right now, we are talking about the national hero. You see me say, and right now, with the hero ground, say one man to the foundation of that, and says with the great Bob Marley out of reggae music right now. We build the foundation of reggae music and take it worldwide to the world. Yeah? That's why Blessed P can stand out to be an artist right now. And I think no one else in this Jamaica should be a hero than Bob Marley right now. He's a perfect brother. You understand, to have the Bob Marley Museum, the Tough Gang studio, and have his son them with, a foundation now doing that. So it's a very good platform for us. And we thank God for him, and him should be the next national hero. Yeah, Bob Marley. Blessed be said that on the occasion of the movements. Yeah.
All right, Sasha, that one was not a Rasta. So what you said now? What you saying now?
All right, then. Well, I take back what I said.
And that's the thing, we went through persons, and that was a common view. The common view was that Bob Marley, hands down, should be declared a national hero, and it is long overdue. That's what the common view is. It's long overdue.
And as you said, with your criteria about, a hero
Yes.
influencing economic growth, within a country, I think he has done that and he's still doing that. Just the thought of people thinking that everybody in Jamaica is a Rasta because of Bob Marley, and they come to Jamaica and they say, yeah, man, it's just how he, back then, the way how he changed the culture, and I saw a video once where I think he was the one who let the PNP and the JLP hold hands. Am I right?
I'm not sure. I don't know.
Am I right? He was trying. If you know in the comments, can you let me know, please?
Right. Yeah. So just looking at the criteria, I have criteria running on the screen now. An individual that has had global impact, bringing positive attention to the country. And in Bob Marley's case, it's not just attention, it's money.
Exactly.
The entire tourism industry is centered around this man. So how is he not recognized as a national hero? And he's dead too. If death is a criteria, he fits it, doesn't he?
Yeah, because it looks like you have to really die.
It's like, you're not really,
So
you're not so important when you're alive. Exactly.
Yes. So
which is not good, because you should be able to get a title like that when you're alive. And as you said earlier, do more work, build on that and do more for the country. It's actually beneficial to us to have them be alive.
Yeah, so when you're alive, like you go around in the communities, you encourage younger people, because when they actually see you doing stuff, see you, moving around as a living national hero, that will motivate a lot of people. It will.
Exactly.
When you're dead and you just study, about them in grade 6, in grade 4,
Given our young people too, it's like it gives them hope. It gives them hope, because now you have all these influencers, yes. But to know, just like a person say in America, aspire to be president. You can aspire to be a national hero.
But
I see something good. That's attainable.
I see a good comment from Antonia. She said additional titles can be added to the suite of national recognitions, like national icon or national legend, as examples to think about. I think that is a perfect recommendation.
Yes.
And that is actually a good idea. That's actually a good idea. And now, to think about that comment, I don't think we need any more national heroes. What we
don't
need
think so?
Is some national legends.
Listen to me. To be a legend makes you a hero.
No.
All right, let's check out what Azra's saying. Azza is saying. He's saying that it's not about a Rasta thing, it's about the truth. And in all fairness, look at what Bob Marley has done. What more can an individual do than take a bullet? Which is history. The national heroes we have, all of them are anchored on slavery. We're beyond that now. So thinking, as forward-thinking people, can we have a diverse group of national heroes? It doesn't have to be that, okay, slavery is over now.
But because of their bravery, because of their sacrifice, is really why we are where we are now. So
that's true. Right.
They are the foundation. They are the foundation. And to be adding somebody to that group, because they make a lot of music and the music sell around the world, that's kind of slap in the face, because look at that, they have to die. Pablo got hung, so we can have some kind of freedom, or whatever it may be.
Yes, that is slavery stuff. All of that is hinged on slavery, and we're generations beyond that. And if we're, as a country, is saying that we want to rise above the negative past that we have as Black people, look at the trailblazers in country now, both dead and alive. The trailblazers for Jamaica, no additional title. Another 1,000 years from now, nobody else. national hero. I think they maybe need to lower the criteria that they have for that, because right right now we're not saying everybody that's doing something great for the country should be called a national hero, no, but so much is going on that is really big. It cannot be ignored. It cannot be ignored. I
Yes,
shouldn't
Hannah,
wait for
but
them to die to get a statue or die to be declared a national hero. I think we have several national heroes now. Jamaica has evolved
yeah, but
beyond
you know,
slavery.
it's just the definition of who a hero is, like, and even in anything you see in the cartoons, movies, anything, a hero is somebody who has done bravery, people who are courageous, people who save lives, people who do things, that to impact, how others live or others, will live. And it's just like, as I said, it would be a slap in the face to add somebody who just ran 200 meters and won a gold medal, the right excellency to be a hero. That's what I'm saying. That's what all I'm saying regarding to that. But
Mhm.
as I'm saying, if there's somebody who is alive, who has done something courageous, who has done something brave and is recognized on a global scale for that, then yes, he should be granted the right excellency. But not
Yes.
just a random person really who saved somebody from a burning car. I'm not talking about that.
Yes,
And
right.
and you went
But
viral.
remember, that brings me to my second criteria. I have the first criteria running for a while, global impact, on the
Mhm.
country and stuff. But the second impact, an act of sacrifice that is not something personal. You did it, and it
Yeah.
gave it elevated the country, right? That
Yes.
should be recognized as something. And again, Bob Marley fit the two criteria, them know. And most people, some people maybe just say Bob Marley because that's all they know. The other persons, I think someone here in the chat was mentioning Louise Bennett, right?
I
So
think
there are
Bob
other
Marley
persons that
is a
could be
good fit.
considered.
Yeah, he's a good fit. And as I said, he has influenced, Jamaica's culture, as I'm saying. So I'm saying he's the only one who I think would fit. But we need a hero who is alive.
We need a hero who is alive. So for
Yeah.
you, if we were to do another, it needs to be somebody who is alive.
Somebody who is alive. Yeah, but you can also
Why
add
do you say that?
You
Why
can
do you say
also
that?
add Bob Marley, Pardon?
Why do you say that?
Because we need someone who is active. Someone that we can constantly learn from until they die. Someone who puts people onto things, somebody who showcases continuous acts of bravery. So not the one time thing, the person continuously does, acts of bravery. He, influences youth. So, something like that, I'm thinking.
Yes. Do you
Somebody who,
think
yeah.
the number of people that we have doing that is so saturated that to give recognition to one, there be an outcry? What about the others?
Yes, that's what I was saying earlier. Remember maybe saying that earlier about, you're giving one person within the same criteria, they'll be like, oh, so what about me? I have done more than that person, but they got it. Why not me? Then you have to know, just give everybody the right excellency.
Yeah,
And that's
because if
not
you
how
look
it
at
goes.
sports alone, and what it
Yes,
has done for us, these young people, what they have done for us, trailblazers, and to handpick one, what would we say
because
of the
look at
others?
Merlin Otti, has really done her work in sports and for Jamaica. And then for you to, for example, give Shelly and Fraser Price over Merlin Otti, it's going to look away. It's going to look like, oh, look at Merlin Otti, she has been here for so long, and just give it to Mrs. Fraser Price. It's something
No,
like
but
that.
is it about how long you've been around or what you have, the impact
It's
you've
just
made?
the impact. And I think,
Yes.
but another time, as Anthony said, the social construct and context has changed. So I would have given it to
Mm-hmm.
Shelley Fraser Price because, in the current year, she has really put Jamaica on the map in relation to sports. But older people, would be like, oh, but Merlin Ati did that way before her and she did that and that. You know, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, which makes us wonder now if to get the recognition, even if you're alive, it has to be something done many years ago. It's like if you did it yesterday, nobody thinks you should be declared a national hero. You know?
Exactly what I am saying. So you have to have some kind of, you know, strong social capital at that. Something, you know, you did years ago, and people say, you know what? He did that, you know, he did this for Jamaica in, you know, 2000, in 1986, whatever it may be. And then if somebody comes now in 2017 and does something, they're not going to really view that as being, you know, something of great, we call it now,
recognition or so. So the extended period part is important then for criteria 1. So you're doing what you're doing, but it's not yesterday, it's not a one-hit wonder situation. It is sustained over a period of time in terms of your influence, your positive influence on the country itself. And better and most importantly, the economy. If you're influencing the economy, come on, man. You must can get some recognition for that. All right, here was that. Let me just
people are influencing.
Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead.
Azza, if I'm pronouncing that correct, as a singer, saying Bob Marley do a lot for Jamaica. He put reggae music highlights for younger youths, people to know about the truth. And that's the point. You know, they're putting these people out there saying, you know, these are good candidates, but educate the young people. Educate them about the history.
So they have been educating them about the ones we have. We can't complain, right? Everybody hear about Nanny and growing up in school. Everybody hear that. But no, where we're at, these new persons, all these trailblazers, yes, they get recognition on the global stage, but I don't think we're doing enough justice locally to look at the magnitude of the achievement. And I think in some cases, it's a personal thing. Like, for example, Usain Bolt. He's a very sociable person. So because of that, you know, familiarity breeds contempt. It's like people like, okay, we know how him stay. So because of that, we don't think him deserves to be a national hero. When that should not be the case, you should look at what the person has done. That kind of achievement is sometimes worse. It is a once in a lifetime kind of achievement, irrespective of how the person is, or you think you know them. And that familiarity thing, we need to cut it out. People are making waves on the global stage. And Jamaica is benefiting from it financially too. Financially. I'm not sure how much we're benefiting from the ones that we have. I know Marcus Garvey, you know, because of the American movement and so gaining some traction. But looking at the others, what have our national heroes brought to the table that our trailblazers, let me call them that, seems that they have no title, or trailblazers are doing now? What has the historical national heroes done?
That's true.
That's true. What else? $500 bill. What else? What? You know?
Really, like,
these
heroes in our mind, are just of historic value. There is nothing more.
Yes, that is it. The perception that
their importance is aligned with their historic value. So in our minds, we're like, oh, in history, you know, Marcus Garvey made the Black Star Line because that's what we learned. So in our mind, we'll be like, oh, yeah, Marcus Garvey is a hero because he did this and he's a black a publicist. He does a lot of things, Marcus Garvey. And the rest of Farians, you know, they preach about him a lot.
Right.
So, you know, there's importance there. But for example, like Sam Sharp, I really don't know.
Sam Sharp. You see, that's the thing, you know, we know the history, but again, the history is tied to slavery. And even though it's a strong message, I think as a country we need to move away from that being how we sell ourselves.
Yeah, that's true.
This Black Lives Matter and this cry about black people. we're beyond that. We're living in a global environment where racism is not tolerated anyway. So having a one-up with all these slavery movements and stuff is not going to be enough to put Jamaica on the global stage or to keep us there. And if we have persons in country, dead or alive, who have done that, to not recognize them, you can't put the hat so high. I don't think the hat should be so high. National hero.
I know, to Anna, thinking about it more and more as I read the comments and I think about it, it just shows that are these national heroes anything more but clickbait? Like we only celebrate them once a year. And then when that's gone, we wait until the next year to like think about them again. And that's what I'm saying. So really and truly, we really need some heroes who are alive, something to keep the
So we
ball
need fresh
going.
blood. We need fresh blood.
Yeah, something to keep the ball rolling. I'm saying something that reminds us day by day that this person is a walking national hero.
Right. Because how it is now is like nobody know. It's like I think we have too many. It's like too many people doing good, so we take it for granted. We take it for granted. And the persons who are doing it, they're very sociable. You can talk to them, they're accessible. And that accessibility waters down their relevance and importance. But I don't think that should really be it. For Barbados is making an example out of us to show us, listen to me. What Rihanna is doing never have nothing to do with Jamaica, Remember, we have runners where everybody in our space is doing stuff for the country, Barbados, Rihanna is in America doing her thing for herself. And persons even say, okay, she's Barbadian. And even Jamaicans jokingly say she's Jamaican. So we all claim her. But what she's doing is not directly for her country. And she still gets recognition. So how can persons who are doing stuff for their country not be recognized? Oh.
Well, that's true. And then the thing is, like people don't really sit down and think. And it's because we have these heroes from 19 how long now? And in our minds, we're like, oh, Jamaica not going to think about our next hero. All we're going to do is just give them a pin, and say, thank you for doing this, thank you for doing that, and life goes on.
Yeah.
So even if we see somebody doing something great, we'll be like, oh, it's a good youth man, but not giving him that title because we have settled, we are comfortable with our 7 heroes. It just stuck in our mind that these are our heroes and this will forever be our 7 heroes. So
we need to evolve. I think we need to evolve. Yes, we have 7. Where is this rule coming from that there should be no more? Is that a rule? Is that constitutional? Where is it coming from?
I don't think really it's constitutional. I don't think it's a rule. I just think it's a mindset.
It's a mindset. And we need to also think, okay, if I can't do it, maybe nobody else should get recognition for it. We also shouldn't think like that too.
Yeah, and the thing is, with I noticed, because I did a little research with Barbados and their national heroes, and they have quite a lot. They have quite a lot of heroes, and their heroes are not persons who fought in slavery. Really, their heroes are well-known sportsmen. Persons who are in like music, because there's Rihanna, there's Garfield Sobers. He does sports, and he got the national hero. And then you have the Congress of Labor, the president, the trade unions, Frank Walcott. So that they have a mixture. So I don't think there's a standard criteria for them. And that's why it is so easy for Rihanna to be, granted that award.
As is saying that a live person cannot be a hero. So in his rule, yes, a live person should not be a hero. You need to be dead to be declared a national hero. You agree with that?
He needs to state why.
Yes,
I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that. You don't have to be dead to be a hero. And I said earlier, sacrifice does not always mean that you should be dead at the end of what you're doing. Being official does not mean that you have to sacrifice your life.
Right, right. And that is the message, because some people do anything for shine, anything for shine.
And then
And
they
they
die, and what
create
next? You're dead.
martyrdom,
What next?
martyrdom, just to get attention. So have to be careful too in terms of how we're pushing this national hero thing. But we're doing so much. It's like it's become like norm for us. I think we're taking it for granted what these persons have done. It is no small feat.
I
No
think
small
we
feat what
have.
they've done. Hmm?
I think we have, and you're right. Like we're just stuck on slavery. We're just stuck on the pain that these heroes went through. Is that is
Right.
what we are just that's our foundation. Then I think that we should actually move on from that, really,
Mm-hmm.
and like give the award to people who are great in music, like
And that's the
great
next thing
music,
too.
and not
That's
a
another
normal
thing.
artist were
Should it
just
be a
pop up.
category? Should it be a category that you must be in? Because we have things going on big in sports. We have a lot going on in music. So should it be a
Politics as well.
category thing?
Politics as well. Persons in politics as well who have
Okay.
who has done a lot. Who has done like reforms, introduced, for
Right.
example, persons who influence education, politics as a whole, community development, rural development, those kind of things. I think these people need some kind of award for their actions.
Right. And the fact that we have so many, we're in a situation where it might be something that we have to maybe, I don't know, rank, because there's so many people that would qualify. So if the rules are not stringent enough, anybody could be a hero, which is kind of what persons are saying they want to shy away from. We don't want the average person to be called a hero.
Yeah, and
But
that's why we narrow down the criteria.
mm-hmm.
So when you have a tight criteria, not everybody is applicable, and they know that. So there's no way that they can come and try to compete. And
Right.
I will do some comparisons now, but that's for another day.
No, go ahead. No, this is what we're doing. Why are you saying that?
No, because when you have like the fan favorites, they like to attack. But
Yes.
as I'm saying, no, for example, as I says, Bob Marley. But Bob Marley is dead. Then you have
Mm-hmm.
Coffee, you have Chronics, you have Damian Marley. These are persons who are alive.
Break that down, though. So when you bring up a coffee and versus a Damian Marley, state the difference.
So I'm saying context is context. So the young people would have more be like, oh, the coffee is coming up, and then you have Damian Marley, who has been on the stage and on the floor for years.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So these are persons who are alive, they're going, give them some kind of recognition. But in the end, if you think about Damian Marley versus Bob Marley,
Mm-hmm.
they're not even quite near to each other.
Yeah, and that's the thing. So Coffee, what she has done, you remember I said earlier, is it something that you can just do yesterday and you get the recognition today? Or little years need to be on it, years have to pass before people take it serious?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. But I'm saying that young people would have more drawn for Coffee. And that's why we have to narrow down the criteria. That's what I'm saying now.
And I think it should be somebody or more than one person that both the young and the old will agree that yes, this person deserves this kind of recognition,
And I think Damian Marley, Shaggy as well.
Okay.
Shaggy, and I think somebody said it in the chat. Let me see who said it. It was Anthony.
Yeah, somebody said that.
Asking. Yeah, I think he's a good candidate as well.
So my criteria again, criteria 1, the individual has had global impact, bringing positive attention to the country over an extended period of time. So you're saying the persons meet that criteria.
Yeah, and then he also has this thing that he keeps for the Bustamante Children's Hospital. That deserves an award.
Those are good things, yes.
Those are good things.
Is it good enough? That's the question. Is it good enough to be labeled a national hero? Or if another rich person comes on board and starts up a charity or so, would they now be labeled a national hero? Because you know people will flock certain activities. I think it's trending towards that kind of title. Many persons will start opening charities to get recognition. So do you think that in itself is enough to label you a national hero?
I think it is enough for Shaggy. Because as I said, he's a musician, he's an actor,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and people around the world know him as being a Jamaican before everything else.
Right.
So it's not really
That's a
about
good
the
point.
charity alone.
Popularity thing. How many
Yeah.
people know your name globally? That should count for something too.
Yeah, but like, and then a lot of people know Vibes Cartel.
So look at that now.
Is he
Let's
up
talk
for
about
being
that
a
a little. In your opinion now, persons are looking at the social aspects of it. So if you have positive and negative influence, right? So if you have a kind of influence that is passing out somebody that the masses think is more on a positive aspect, do you think that person should now not be considered for national hero or whatever? Is influence in itself influence, or does it matter what kind of influence?
It matters what kind of influence. We only want positivity.
But you know, it depends on what side of the coin you look at it at. Persons might say, yes, he is having a positive influence because his music and the lyrics and everything is profound.
Who are we talking about?
Vibes Cartel. Yeah, because people might say, yes, that level of influence is not normal. That's what I was asking you, what kind of influence you measure here? Is any type of influence you're talking about?
But he's not. Yes, I'm saying he is influential. That I know for a fact. Like everything he says, like people do, you know. But is he a hero? No. Is he hero worthy?
So who is a hero? Who is a hero?
A hero.
Think about it. When we take it back to the street, think about it. Let's think about who is a hero. I'm gonna play one more.
Okay.
Okay, so I don't necessarily think we need national heroes, but if it is that someone has played a role in the country where they have earned it, I think they should be rewarded with the title. If it is that I should pick a national hero, I would go with the most popular one that everyone's talking about, which is Bob Marley. And I personally do think Louise Bennett, I just love her, but Bob Marley should. He has done a lot for the country. He has helped with tourism and all of that. He has played a role as a person solely, so I do believe he could be honored with the title of being a national hero.
You hear that, Sasha Gay?
Yeah. Well, the first part that you said was very good, though. I think if they apply the work, I think they should. But it's just like the criteria, you know, of what Jamaica has of somebody being a national hero. The order of national hero.
That is it. It is hard to define. And as a country, maybe in some countries it's easy, you know, to identify people. But Jamaicans are not normal. What we have here is like almost 100 national heroes. If you go back in time and look at what persons have done, Jamaicans, and the thing is the influence of Jamaicans globally. It's so easy for Jamaicans to be on the world stage.
And then
based on what they do.
And it's a case where I read somewhere when I was doing some research on national heroes one time, and it says that, you know, in Jamaica, it is the award is granted after the person has died or after the recipient has retired from active public life. So what's the purpose? You know, that means that the person is either really old or the person has died. Then they
why do you have to be dead? Why do you have to be dead to be
Exactly.
recognized.
So that needs to change. That needs to
Yeah.
change.
And that's the thing, stigma, well, perception rather. So just like when your family members die, everybody has something good to say, but when you're alive, nobody said anything to you. All those
Yeah.
wreaths and flowers, some people only get that when they're dead. They do,
So it's,
and
yeah,
they're
so
not
it's
even
after you
receiving
die.
and acknowledge. Yeah,
So after you die, they sit down and be like, "Oh my God, you know that he did this? Wow!" And then they start to think about all the good that you have done while you're alive, and then they grant you an award, and you're dead.
exactly. And that's the thing is, and the thing, is generational. So it's like at this stage, how do you convince persons that we need to break away from the old way of thinking? How do you convince persons? Because I know when you started out your life, we don't need any national heroes. Why are we even taking this on? And some persons in the chat agree that we just follow fashion, basically. We don't need nobody else. But I think looking at what we do have is not balanced, and we have evolved as a country, since independence. So I think we
Yeah,
maybe could do more.
we have, and a lot of people, they have put Jamaica on the map, like in bold
Yes.
and italics and underline. They have done that.
Yeah. And back in the day where people shut away and just do their own thing and they're standoffish. Nowadays, our trailblazers are very accessible, and maybe that's what's hurting their case. They're so accessible that we take them for granted and think they're just normal in terms of how they are. But looking at what they have done, it's bigger than them, what they have done. So yes, we give them medals and yes, we call up the name and stuff, but they've made history. They've made history so many times and they deserve the recognition. But it
Yeah,
might say how many you're gonna open the door for now, because there's so many. They're cap off. What's the limit?
yeah. That is true. But should there be should there be any? You just add them as they come along.
And then you just have this long laundry list of
That's
persons.
why we have a criteria. And I know that not
Yeah,
everybody will fit the criteria at the end of the day. So no matter how much good you have done, there's always
right.
one bit of the criteria that you do not fit.
That would make you not qualify. I get
Yes,
what
that
you're
will make you
saying.
not qualify.
Right. So
Exactly. And then
Jamaicans, we could really open the door for this. Go to the
yeah,
table and go write up some criteria. Especially for our country, it might need to be a little more stringent because we have so many stars. We have so many
yeah,
stars, so maybe the criteria needs to be a little stricter than another country. But it's something to consider. Imagine you're doing your best, you're putting out your best, and you see the impact you're making in the country, and nobody acknowledges that outside of, wow, you're doing such a great job.
that's true. But there could be three things though. As I was
Mm-hmm.
preaching earlier about a hero has to be brave. But then as I think about Bob Marley, all the sports stars that we do have, it it can also be somebody who have outstanding achievements. Also,
Right.
somebody has noble qualities, like they're so morally inclined, all of that, high integrity, and they have benefited by that, and they also contribute to the society
Yes.
with that. And I guess as well, if the wider public knew what the criteria was, then maybe we'll be more interested, because we don't know what the criteria is for this country. I really don't. What is the criteria? How does somebody become a national hero of Jamaica? Because it cannot be when you're dead. Honestly,
And it cannot be that because you fought for slavery, because slavery is dead.
slavery
So
is
we
dead.
need some other reasons. We need some other reasons to put people, where they belong. Stop
Yeah,
taking it for granted what these people have done. You and I couldn't do half of what we see people doing, right? And it's bigger than we think.
it is bigger than we think. And I think they
Yeah.
need the recognition. They deserve the recognition. And we need a criteria. The wider public deserves to have a criteria of what it is what it takes actually to become a national hero.
Yes, I agree.
Something standard. Who is a hero first of all, and under what circumstance does a person, as a Jamaican citizen, be granted that award? It cannot be when you're
Yes.
there. That needs to be removed, and it cannot be when you have retired from active public life. That has
Yes,
to be
yes.
removed.
You're on the verge of dying is when you must feel good. Or if you're in your coffin already. Can't be.
It cannot be. It cannot be. You need persons who are active role, like idols. But I wouldn't like to use the word idols.
Yes. All right, let's
Idols,
get back to the streets
icons.
again. Let's hear some more views. Let's hear some more views.
I do believe that Jamaica do need other national heroes. I would appoint Usain Bolt. Reason being, he has done so much for Jamaica in the fact of, especially in the sports and not also in sports in business. He brought Jamaica on the map for a lot of countries to know Jamaica, and also he has a personality in which he brings a lot of income otherwise from sports to the country. I also would say Bob Marley to be one of our national heroes. Reason being, he has done so much in music, and music has been such a wonderful income for the country. So I do believe Bob Marley do need that. Like what he has done for us is simple. That I don't feel that's much for us to do for him in honor of his name to become a national hero. I don't believe you have to even wait until they die. That's why I said Usain Bolt to make them a national hero.
All right. So you hear that? So she
Mm-hmm.
agrees with us that you don't have to be dead to become a national hero at this stage. Too much going on, and it will inspire others. Sometimes people want to make moves and they don't know what to do because at the end of the day, nobody will care what they're doing, and it will motivate. And young people need something to inspire them. Look at what's going on with crime and other things. People need some positive message, something to aspire to other than being the president of the United States. Do you realize that? That's one push, presidency. You must can be something else. And if you can't run fast and you can't whatever, you must can understand that your life can make a difference for somebody else. And
Yes.
based on the level, you can be recognized for that. You and your
Even,
family.
even having like hospitality, like how
Yeah.
Mary T. Cole was, something like that. Like if you
Wow.
are
Yeah.
somebody like that, then you deserve that award of being a national hero.
What we found in the streets is that most persons were saying the common names like Bob Marley, Usain Bolt, Louis Bennett, things like that. But this one person mentioned this individual, and I'm going to play this for you, and we can discuss it.
Okay.
Yeah, so who I think should be considered as one of the next, or basically the next Jamaican hero. There was this fellow that passed off recently. He's a very, very light complexion. His hair would be like coolly I was speaking to Ian Burnett, a sports editor of the Observer, and he was making mention of this particular individual. And just the way he spoke of this individual, I've heard many different stories as to his contribution along the years from the 80s coming up to the 90s, of how he actually provided jobs with his what should I say? He's provided jobs with his intelligence basically. He I believe was affiliated with ATL, but he was even announced. On the prime time news. I was like, who is this guy? Who is this guy? What contribution has he made that he is so conversation material? He's on it, But it's just having discussion from person who have came in contact with him. That was the only option I had to actually gain a better sense of understanding as to is what they stated about him real, or is it just that I'm hearing stories. So I'm definitely not just hearing stories, because I've definitely spoken with a person that has come in contact with him, and he is truly a nation builder.
I don't know who is that.
that one.
Yeah, but I don't know about that person.
You don't know Bush Stewart? You're that young? Sandals? You don't know
Yeah,
Sandals
but
Hotel Queen? Mm-hmm.
um, should he be a national hero?
What he's saying is that Bush Stewart has more than put basically Jamaican tourism on the map by he was one of the pioneers for with the premium hotel system, you know, and he provided so many jobs
Jobs.
for young
Oh
people
yeah.
from in the 80s to now. So what he's saying is that remember criteria one that was saying, you know,
Yeah.
you've made a mark, you've contributed to the economy, etc. Criteria two, I think that is. So he's saying that this man the work that he has done for young people and just the industry in itself is
Mm-hmm.
noteworthy for him to be called a national hero. That's what he's
Oh
saying. And
yeah.
if this
Bush
is a
Stewart.
criteria, he also meets it, you
Yeah,
know?
it was in my mind for a second. It was in my
Yeah,
mind for a second, the person's name, but yeah. And then he left it, for his children, and that is something that is, continuous.
in terms
So
of legacy, yes.
yeah. So
Which is also what people are saying is that once you're doing
yeah.
that, you're making money for yourself. Why should we call you a national hero if the money is just for you and your family anyway? But this young man is saying that it is more than the riches that he has gained. It's also what he has contributed and given back to his country and his people.
Well, that
You
is
know?
true. And what he has left behind, because
Yes,
because it's even more deeper though, because although that's his business, it attracts tourists, and we benefit from the foreign exchange.
exactly. Right. So
But
he
once again, he's
definitely
dead. So it
he,
really looks
and
like he have to die.
yeah, and that's the thing, you know. If Rihanna didn't get the recognition the other day, we
Yeah,
wouldn't be having this discussion
it would
because
not.
Jamaicans are not bringing this up. They
Yeah,
said they
so
brought it up years ago and it was
mhm.
brushed aside. Now that we've witnessed it actually happen, persons are saying, no man, it's time for Jamaica to take this up and do something. So yes, we're usually trendsetters, but no, we're follow fashion. Where they're saying no, see Barbados can do it there for
That's
Rihanna. And in some persons' eyes, they don't think Rihanna qualifies. But look at what she has done. She satisfies our criteria. She has
yeah,
made a
she's
mark, well,
qualified
for herself,
for
yes, for her
Barbados
country, yeah.
because they
She's
have made it
known.
clear. They have made
Hmm.
it clear their criteria. We have not. So we
Yeah,
cannot point fingers and be like, oh, she's not qualified. She's not qualified
on what
here
ground?
based on
Exactly, on what
our
ground is she not
criteria.
qualified? Yeah.
And I think now is the time that we in other nation is sitting back and we're looking at all those persons who could have gotten the award of being a national hero and they have died.
Yes, yes. So once the criteria is set, you can now go back and review the work that persons have done. And it is unfortunate because they will never know. They will never know the mark they know the mark they've made, but they'll never know. If they do get that recognition, they'll never know that it happened. Which is why we're also opting for persons who are alive to be recognized as national heroes.
Because I think now is the time that we need to have our eyes open.
Too
Because
much going on. We're not normal as a people. Jamaicans, trailblazers, trendsetters. We're not normal. And for less than what we are doing, people get recognition in other countries to the highest degree. Not just the keys to the city and stuff or medal. People
yeah.
get full blown recognition that will last beyond their lifetime.
And
And we
I
should be
think though,
free.
even though they get that, that recognition, it's just one of them. As you said earlier, like Jamaica has a lot of one set of people. So a lot of sports stars, a lot of
Yeah.
influencers with music. So it's really kind of hard, to pick one person.
Yes, it is. And that's why I'm not for, if we do take this up, I'm for more than one. And I don't know if there should be a limit as to how many. Maybe you can set a limit to say, okay, every 50 years we acknowledge at least 2 or 3 persons, or, maybe it's 50 years too much. Maybe, yeah, 50 years is fine,
And then if we start
but more than one.
and then if we start adding heroes, like adding them, just adding them, if it's still in the criteria for school, for education, like social studies, that's a lot of heroes to try and to remember,
Yes, it is.
so we
It
have to have
really is.
some kind of limit. But in the end, how many heroes does one country really need?
And that's the thing too, in terms of need. What do national heroes do for us really? Because we say we need more. We know the ones we've had before. What they've done is help our young, the youth to understand history. But
Yeah.
what the benefit of being a national hero? What does that do for the country? What having that does? I don't know.
Really, I really don't know either, because based on the hero that we do have, we don't see that.
But I
We
think we
don't
touched
really
on
see
it
the
today.
benefit at hand.
Yeah, but we touched on it. If they were to pick them when they're alive, you'd get more out of a live national hero than a dead one.
No, I mean like the hero that we do have right now, like Sam Sharp, like them, like there's no really there's no real benefit now that I can sit down and be like, oh my God, I thank Sam Sharp for doing that. Because really,
Sorry, I'm laughing for something else. I should get. As they saying that Bush Stewart cannot be a national hero because he's not a black man. Who says he's not a black man?
But
Even if he's Caucasian, he's Jamaican, and that's another thing. The colorism, he's Jamaican. So why should he not be considered? He says he's not a black man.
Yeah, I think once you're Jamaican, you can be either white, black, or brown. Once you're Jamaican.
Yes.
On your birth
because
certificate.
we're out of many one people, we're not just black people. Jamaicans have every kind of people here.
And if you're Chinese and you're Jamaican, then and you do something worthy of recognition, then you can be a national hero.
Right.
Because Bush Stewart is a Jamaican.
Yes, he's Jamaican.
Yeah, so
yeah, but and you see that point he's raising, it begs to tell you see, persons will have that perception too. To say, okay, then if we're exploring national heroes, we have some obvious ones. So why are we now putting a Bush Stewart then on the table? So if he was awarded national hero, persons would cry out to say, what about Bob Marley? What about these other obvious people? So that's another thing we have to contend with.
Yeah, that is true. And then now, and if he thinks that way about having a black man, I think other people will be like, oh, he can't be a hero because he's a rich man. You understand what I'm saying?
And that's another perception. And remember, all the persons we're considering now locally are wealthy by nature of what they've done. It has brought them wealth. So you're not a poor man struggling and suffering through and losing your life anymore. Persons are making moves and it is beneficial to them financially. But does that strike you out as a national hero? Do you have to be poor?
Exactly. And I think that's the mindset that we have based on the hero. And you know, everything, every mindset, every perception of what a hero should be is rooting from the hero that we have now. The 7 heroes that we have now, everybody's basing their criteria on them.
Yes.
Because they're all poor. They all fought in slavery. They all fought like rebellion, all those things, like some.
And that is just evidence of the time we were in. But that's just evidence of the times we were in. Yeah. That's evidence. Does that reflect who we are now? In 2021 as a country, does that reflect who we are today? Where is that kind of relationship to show that these persons represent who we are today? We don't have anybody like that.
Exactly.
Well, unless we count the Norman Manley and the others who make it to the money, on the money. That's it?
Yeah, Norman Manley and Alexander Bustamante. And
right.
I think they got that because they created the parties, politics. They influenced that. So maybe that was how they got that award of being a national hero.
And we basically touched on several categories. So we're on politics, we're on music, we're on sports, and then politics is also, is it balanced? Because if you pick somebody, who is a certain color and don't have another one on the other side, people are going to cry out again. It's like you can't win. You can't win in terms of who you choose.
Yeah, exactly. So that's why maybe I think that they have just settled with those heroes because they cannot face the conflict. And as I just said, George Bush cannot be a hero because he is not a black man.
Not black. He's not black. And it's a common view. It's a common view. It's a common view that Caucasians, if you're Caucasian, the darker your skin, so even color of skin now is subconsciously part of the criteria for persons. Like a true, you say true black African descendant is who we should be considering, and not persons who are mixed. And so these are all issues that are it's like a web, a tangled web.
And it's kind of sad as well that we paint black with hardship. So being a hero to many persons, you have to face hardship. You have to go through the fire.
Yes,
as a black person.
It's about struggle.
So it's about struggle. It's about, sacrificing yourself till death in order to be a hero. And that's the thing that needs to be erased permanently and be deleted from the recycle bin.
Exactly, which is why you see the struggle, and that's the thing, that's why I have two criteria. One is you're doing stuff globally, bringing attention to us. One is an act of sacrifice or so. But we have to evolve our thinking beyond historically what a hero is considered to be, because we're beyond slavery now. We'll have to come up with new criteria, as you say, Sasha Day. I throw two out there that can add that to the list or even reword them or throw them away. But come up with some criteria as to who qualifies as a national hero. And Sasha Gay, if we've got one who's alive, what do you think they should do? Like when you win beauty pageants and you have 1 year of service, you have to move around and do whatever. If we were to pick somebody who's alive, what do you think that person would be required to do as a national hero?
Based on what they are known for. For example, a sports star. Maybe Bolt got the award. I'm just saying maybe Bolt got the award. Right? In his tenure, I don't think there should be a tenure of what he has to do in a 1 year space. I think it is until he dies. And I think that he should try and motivate more youths, persons who are interested in being stars just like him.
So you don't think he's doing that now in his current capacity?
You see, I think indirectly he has, because a lot of youngsters, are motivated by him based on what you have seen, when he finishes the finish line first and everything, they aspire to be like him, right? But I'm talking about that is direct influence. What has he done, to really push youth to be stars just like him?
Well, that begs another question. So, is being labeled a national hero also a burden, where you're already on the world stage doing your thing, being recognized, and now if Jamaica calls you a national hero, we have this long list of additional things you need to be doing?
Well, a hero is somebody who's supposed
to be like something to be like, okay, I decline.
It is what comes with the job. It is what comes with the job, and I think that as a hero as well, you're supposed to be selfless. So it's not supposed to feel like a burden to support other people, to be some kind of light for persons who are, in the darkness, they feel hopeless. You're supposed to be that light for them. So I think as a hero, once you get that award, you're supposed to be selfless.
Do you think it should be a choice where I approach you? Would you like that we're considering you for the title of national hero? Do you accept? So if you're alive, you think it should be a choice, or it's just planted on the person whether they agree or not?
I think everything should be a choice. Since you're alive, you have your right. and based on the criteria that, you know, the responsibilities that comes with it, you have that option to be like, you know, I can't deal with this, you know, I will continue to do what I'm doing, but this extra I cannot.
Exactly. Right. So what
So
about if they're dead though? When they're dead now, should they
when
just be
you're dead,
planted
you
on
know,
this list? Mm-hmm.
I think when you're dead, your rights are gone. Really,
When
I
you're dead,
think.
your rights are gone. Exactly. You're not alive. So I can
Yes, you're
label
not
you a
alive to
national
say
hero.
yes or no. And your
Yes.
family, though, I think your family can have their say, really. But you're dead. You know, what can your family even do? It's you. You're a national hero. So all we're going to do is just read about you. That's all.
Somebody in the street said that Bob Marley, even his sons, his legacy has been carried on by his children. So even in that, and even them in their own right, could be labeled in some cases. So why are we not even considering that? Do you think it's long overdue for Bob Marley to be declared a national? Well, if you think we need another national hero, would
I
Bob Marley
yeah,
be a
yeah, yeah.
candidate?
I think it's long overdue. Like we have a museum for this man, for God's sake.
Right.
You
We
know,
have
we
a
have a museum.
museum.
We
Yeah.
still have his house that I think got burnt out the other day. That
Yes.
people literally travel and visit this house. You know, I think that we have
So he's
praised him.
making the country money, the whole criteria thing. Yeah. He's
Yeah.
bringing positive attention to the
Mhm.
industry. He's also influencing tourism. It's not just music. Everything tourism is about Bob Marley. He's
Yes.
like he took over the Jamaican flag. It's about him. The flag is about him. So, and they pair it with the Rastafarians and stuff. So that's really what's happening.
Yes, and also I think that, you know, they have just been using him for clickbait. You know, because
Clickbait.
yeah. Oh yeah, man, Bob Marley, you know, the reggae
Yeah.
icon of Jamaica, just to a little calling, you know, to say,
I hear
okay,
you.
Jamaica
But
has this Bob
anywhere in the
Marley.
world you're going now, you could go into well, you call it Antarctica, and
Mm-hmm.
Eskimo will tell you that they know Bob Marley. So if your
Yeah,
name
but
is known globally, should you be considered by your own country?
yes, I think you should, and at that magnitude as well.
Right. Right. And Usain Bolt too. You go anywhere, people know Usain Bolt.
And they're
They
doing
know it.
his signs and everything. And I think things and times are changing, of course. You know, it's
Yeah.
time
So
to
it's something for
award
us to
these
think
people.
about. Yeah. Something for us to think about.
But I think I see something in the comment. I think Azra was saying he only care about the rich. No,
He only care
no.
about the rich.
Yeah, he said that we black people must own. I think he wants to own there.
Mm-hmm.
Or culture. Him only care about rich. What does he
Oh,
teach us?
yes,
Nothing
yes.
but
That's another
houses.
perception that people have, right? You see? So, as you mentioned earlier about the poverty thing, if you have to be poor to be considered. Well, it's a view that people have that the elitists should not be considered. You have people that think that.
Yeah,
Like they have already made a
they don't
name for
know hardship.
themselves in their pocket. Mm-hmm.
But I think, as I said earlier, though, you know, it's full time we start to acknowledge these people while they're alive.
Yes,
Change the criteria. It doesn't have to be about hardship. It doesn't have to be, you know, rooted on slavery. It is about, you know, moving on in modern era.
right. I
You know,
agree.
modern times where sports is at its highest, music. You know, and now is the time because there are a lot of them. There are really a lot of them.
I agree. So, let's wrap it up in terms of just put some conclusion on the discussion. So, we are both for national heroes being declared in modern day, and we're
Yeah,
saying that they don't have to be dead.
they
Having them
don't.
alive is better because they can, influence more persons over time and do more work to build on the recognition of the country. Is that correct, Sasha Gay?
It is correct.
All right. So what are your other views though in terms of wrapping up? What are your final words in terms of who a national hero should be, and who are there some considerations? You can throw some names out there, feel free.
Yeah, as I said, a national hero is supposed to be somebody who has, influenced Jamaica, this society, has placed us on a global scale. Somebody who is selfless, and I would choose for next national hero Bob Marley, of course, because of his
Yeah.
contributions to music, tourism. Usain Bolt, because
Okay.
he has been in the realm a while. He has
Mm-hmm.
been an athlete for years. So I think sports would be Bolt and music would be Bob Marley. I'm
Right.
not really too sure about Miss Coverley. I'm not really sure about
I
her.
can say something about Miss Coverley. I think, listen to me, patois used to be frowned upon globally, right? Or dialect. And
Yeah.
she put a spin on it that will never ever get old. So I think that alone, that action of just bringing our dialect to the world stage is
Mhm.
worthy of recognition. I think so. If we're throwing out heroes to other persons, I don't think Louise Bennett is somebody we should leave out. That's my opinion.
Well, that's true. And in the end, to Anna, as I said, is the more you know. Is the
Yes.
more you know. So I'm saying, educate the public on these people, their contributions, educate them. Because I might see Miss Coverley as somebody who just makes, say, good morning, teacher, how is you? And all that folklore, but teach us the importance. And then probably we can appreciate them more. So that's a thing that we need to sort out as a nation, appreciation, education.
Let me play another video before we close.
Okay. I think we could have another national hero in Jamaica. As someone has just said, Louis Bennett and Bob Marley. I think they are great icons of Jamaica. So I believe we could have national heroes, national heroes in our country.
Right. So she's saying Bob Marley and Louise Bennett. So pretty common in the streets. Most persons said Bob Marley. Even if they call another name, Bob Marley was in the list. So, and I think it would be a shocker, I think it would be a shocker if we didn't pick. If they went out and set a criteria and Bob Marley fell through, that would be a problem nationally.
You think so?
Yeah, I think if you come up with a criteria and Bob Marley doesn't make it, there will be public outcry. If another person gets national hero and the good Bob Marley, who right now we don't even know how much money, the clock is ticking every second, the dollars go up. The dollar sign is there with his name and his legacy. So if we landed a national hero and he was not considered, I think that would be an issue for persons, because the common view we had, I wasn't able to share all the views from the streets, but the common view is that Bob Marley is a no-brainer as a national hero. It goes without saying that he should be one.
He is, and I think that he should already, have that slot there for him already. I don't think there should never be a debate on whether he should be or should not.
Yes.
So, yeah, so you make a criteria, and Bob Marley should fit all of those. Full stop.
That is it. The criteria. It goes back to the criteria. And before they even implement the criteria, they have to sensitize the public about the list. Because once you start throwing names out there and persons don't agree, it is going to be a problem. And the public should also be part of the decision in making the criteria, because this is a new time now. We don't live with authoritarianism, stuff like tyranny. Right now, everybody has a voice. So the public, if it's something new we're bringing to the table, the public should not be caught off guard.
And that should not be an option either. It should be mandatory for public participation.
Yes, in all policies that we do for the country, public participation should occur first and then you implement. Even if you don't get majority view, but you allow a space for the public to share their ideas and views with government. Yeah, I agree with that.
So it should be
In the
mandatory.
world that we're living in now. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Because they will drag you through social media, they'll drag you to the environment. So the public. Yes, and the public, you see, they talk about influence. The public is very influential in decision making, in policies, and they can either bring down a policy or lift it up. So we have to engage
And then
them.
it will also look really bad on the person who has received the award, because he's going to realize that, oh my God, this is what the public, thinks about me.
Yes.
So we need to have a common we need to be on the same page.
Yes, to protect whoever, especially the person's alive. You're right. To protect their character. Because you're already doing good and you don't want to smear that because of how you went about declaring them a national hero as well.
Exactly. So we need to make sure that everything is, in tip-top shape. No hard feelings. Everything is clear. So we need to focus on that. But start with the public participation first.
Yes.
And then we move on from that in creating our criteria or standard criteria.
That's right. So start the conversation, and from the conversation, we'll get ideas for the criteria. So I think that's a good way for us to close this conversation. Thank you, Sasha Gay, for your inputs as usual. It was a very engaging conversation. Thanks to our viewers in the chat. Right. I hope we touched on some of your points. I know I wasn't able to touch on all, but we hear you and we acknowledge your views. And for the viewers, for the persons who also share their views in the streets, thank you very much for your contribution. I know I wasn't able to share all the videos that we got in the streets, but we thank you again for your views. And before I close, Sasha, again, I'm just going to list out the common names that were brought to our attention in the field. So Louise Bennett, Usain Bolt, Bob Marley, Gordon Bush Stewart. Name yours now, Sasha Gay, in terms of the names that you have on the table.
I have, Bob Marley, Bolt. Yeah, those two I have, really.
I think you said Mary C. Cole earlier.
Yeah, but she died, and I'm really not trying to focus on too many
on the dead ones. Okay.
Yeah. But I was saying that persons who are just like her, who are alive, we need to identify them.
Right. And we also touched on categories to consider. You need to look in the politics arena, sports, and music. Was there anything else sticking out? I think those three areas.
Hospitality as well.
Hospitality, yes. Act of sacrifice, gallantry.
Yeah. And I want to leave one thing though. I'm going to say it again. Sacrifice doesn't always end in death. So I just need everyone to understand that. And I want Azza to know that hardship doesn't necessarily make someone a hero.
Right. So thanks again, Sasha Gay, and thanks to all our viewers, both in the chat and those who are just watching. Thank you very much. Thank you to those who may be watching the replay at some point. Welcome. We are live every Sunday at 6 p.m. So join us. We have several videos on the channel as well. You can also check those out and share your views in the comments. So we look forward to hearing from you next Sunday at 6. So thank you. Thank you, Sasha Gay.
And thank you, Anna, for having me. And thank you, everyone, for joining. Have a good night.
Thank you.
Do you have a burning issue that would shock or entertain our viewers? Share your scoop at saywhatnowtv10@gmail.com.